Peace. Salam, Baragani, Chief Noble Bandele El Amin, here with the Chief of the Legal Issues. We got Olakwesu El Bay, and we also have Keng El Bay here dealing with some pertinent issues on habeas corpus. So I'm going to let y'all talk about the habeas corpus and how it's used.
Well, the habeas corpus is used under 28 USC under
1651
under the Special Writ Act. Is used for various reasons, and it deals with illegal detention, for its child custody, wrongful convictions, and also when you're incarcerated and you're not received bail or anything, or you have not, or you on home incarceration or something like that illegally, of deprivation of your constitutional rights. I will let Chief Olakwesu elaborate more on some of this topic.
Well, as King El Bay stated, we specify in the habeas under the Special Writs Act, which affords us under the federal constitution, which is the highest constitution on the face of this planet. The habeas can be used under common law of England for wrongful conviction, guardianship, for child custody. It's not only used for illegal detention, but also for parole and probation restrictions and any other void and invalid or unconstitutional court order. If a judge rules you a vexatious litigator, a habeas can attack that order. If the judge deprives you the right to lead a state while on probation, or your probation officer, habeas can be used. Under Jones v. Cunningham, Justice Black issued a habeas corpus where Jones was not able to leave the state because he was on parole, and he was restricted of his 14th Amendment liberty interest. In Kimmelman versus Morrison, Chief Justice Rehnquist affirmed that a habeas corpus will not issue under the 4th Amendment, but under the 6th Amendment, which is ineffective assistance of counsel. In Strickland versus Washington, the Supreme Court of the United States also referred to the habeas corpus issue, affirming that your attorney's skills and knowledge is the adversarial testing ground against the prosecutor's case. And we will, like I stated earlier, we will track down your attorney practice and make sure that you were afforded the proper representation. We also deal with issues under 42 USC 1983, where police officers act invalidly, in bad faith, or in a wanton and reckless manner. We are here to force the court to enforce the Constitution.
And force them to give you your legal remedies, substantive and procedural. A lot of us do not understand the process and understand due process, and really what do that mean. A lot of us need to be educated on this, and I'm just going to put it frank. The community, a lot of single mothers, single parent homes do not have the time for this, and that's where we come in. We are the new eyes and ears of the community. We are the new judicial watch, and to enforce the courts to provide us citizens with all our legal remedies and stop denying us of our legal remedies. A lot of people is just getting convicted just on pure ignorance.
All right. So to keep it on this habeas, give me an example. Let's say there's somebody that was locked up, and they've been locked up for 2-3 weeks, maybe a month, and they have not been to court. They have not seen a judge. What what's going on in that situation?
Well, there's certain due procedures that the court must follow. Say, for instance, the bond is excessive. The bond don't meet the charge. The bond don't meet the bond schedule. You can challenge the bond schedule under the writ of habeas corpus. We not challenging the conviction per se, but we challenging just the bond issue only. And a lot of minorities are being hit with excessive bonds, knowing that they can't even afford counsel. So how can they afford a $500,000 bond on a $700 bad check issue? It don't even add up, or it don't even equate. So the habeas is used for all sorts of due process violations, which is excessive bond is a due process violation guaranteed by the 5th and 14th Amendment. And that's what we're here to enforce in these courts. That's supposed to be of law.
Got you. So what is due process in definition to you?
Due process is the ability to file petitions, papers, motions, requests, asking the court to look into a matter. That's procedural due process. So substantive is the right to be heard, is a right to challenge your accuser, is a right to jury trial, is a right to civil adjudication for the wrongful act of a police officer acting under the color of state law, for false arrest, the use of excessive force, the planting of evidence, tampering with records, conspiracy to commit fraud. There's several due process violations that minorities go under because they don't have a legal remedy to challenge these employees of the state while acting under the color of state law.
Gotcha.
And what we're experiencing here is attorney malfeasance. We have several attorney cases under our belts that show the intentional deprivation, because most of these attorneys will not challenge the state because they are in with the state getting funded, and their practice is getting funded. And that's what African Americans and other minorities are experiencing right now. And we are here to help provide a remedy for these wrongdoings. Anything else, King?
One of the things that I want people to understand when we talk about due process, you have to understand the statute itself. You have to look at within the procedural, because you have administrative process also in certain courts. And you have to know that administrative process. Then you might have a judicial process that's done by the court. For example, Jobs and Family Services, they have an administrative process, and you have to understand your constitutional rights. A lot of times, they're acting under state law that violates your constitutional right. They're acting. The process within itself is totally unconstitutional, but a lot of us been mistreated by the court system so long, we believe what they're doing is right.
So give me an example.
Like, for example, I'm gonna talk about
when a child is born,
child support. Under the presumption, under the state of Ohio, for example, it's automatically presumed that the mother has custody of the child. The state of Ohio, the mother is presumed to be the custodial parent. But we understand that all presumptions is not absolute. The state cannot create a law that violates a contract between the parents. Under Article 1, Section 10 of the United States Constitution, how could the state say automatically send you a letter? From Jobs and Family Services, they will automatically send you a letter telling you have to pay support and that the mother has custody without knowing the family history, the family dynamics, or knowing that there was agreement established prior to this action. And they will start acting upon that and violate your rights. You and the mother can have an oral agreement. An oral agreement is just as binding as a written agreement. And they will start to this process and get an order against you and won't allow you to properly defend during this administrative process. So a lot of guys are in a system, and they're being getting
represented.
Not just represented, because the fact is you got a lot of these organizations that will lie to you, tell you you can't have custody of your child. The state doesn't allow that, but the state, under the 14th Amendment, under Troxel versus Granville, the state cannot pass judgment over a fit parent. They cannot decide the fate of your child without consulting with the parents first. So a lot of these organizations will lie to you only to substantiate an order, and a judge will sign off on an order and deny and suppress evidence and won't allow you to present evidence. So a lot of people are unaware of really what's going on for certain things like that. We have to look at some of the statutes to determine if it's unconstitutional. And do this fit the bill? Do this fit the bill for proper due process? So I found that where the state would take two statutes and merge them together.
Okay.
They can't do that.
So let me ask, if in a child support case, is it possible to use the habeas?
Yes. Based upon the habeas can't be used to decide custody. It's going to be based on who has the superior right. Say, for example, the mother leaves you with the child for maybe 6 months. You ain't heard from the mama, or say she leave it. She's in a bind. She may be on drugs. She leave you with the child. Don't see the child maybe but once or twice during that time, and you're taking care of the child. By law and legal definition, the mother will have abandoned her rights, and the rights will transfer automatically over to you. She can go down to file child support. Child support don't know anything about the family history or anything, and they will start to act upon what she filed, upon that tort. And they will go ahead and place an order. They will tell you owe child support. Bring in your check stubs so we can figure out how much you have to pay. And they will act upon that. And a lot of guys will know what to do,
right,
know how to rebuttal that, and defeat that presumption.
See, basically, the habeas corpus is issued to remove a person out of custody.
Okay.
To produce the body of a person from one court to another, when it's believed that court didn't have proper jurisdiction to do what it done. You must look at Article 1, Section 9, and the state constitutions. They'll tell you where your remedy is once you believe that you have been wrongfully convicted. And we are here to help people understand exactly what their rights are under common law here. Because constitutional law, still to this day, has not afforded African Americans equal protection. And so we want everybody to understand exactly where they have to go here in the century that we live in now. Because it has got predominantly worse as we move forward into the future. We as common law people, we the people must eventually band together. And if we don't, we're gonna find ourselves in a third world country and having rights taken from us that we didn't even understand that we had to even start with. That's why we have put this union together under the Indigenous Services. You can go to the indigenousservice.webs.com, and we will help you with your legal issue as we stay facing some kind of incarceration or some kind of liberty restriction. We'll be looking forward to everybody logging onto this website and are taking care of the necessary business of the court. Anything else can.
But, well, let me just add too that y'all. I know that they're having a site where you'll get $10, but just say you wanted to. You had to dispute a case, or you needed somebody to help as in a pro se form. I know that we're willing to help people to actually do a case, depending on, and I know that depending on whatever the case is, but there would be fees included with that as well.
Right.
Not just if you got $10, but if you just need help on a case.
If you need help, one of the other services that we provide is legal documentation, transcription. We kind of help people with putting motions together. That's why the templates is very important, where people can look and see examples of what they might need. They might need so many. I mean, it's hundreds of motions that you can file. I filed a motion before requesting to speak on all relevant issues. It's not a particular per se a motion that's by the book, but that was a motion that was needed in my case because the judge was not allowing me to speak, and I also attached in that motion for the right to be heard, a motion to discuss all relevant issues and a right to be heard. I had to file that because it was necessary, because at the time the judge wouldn't allow me to speak and talk about all the relevant issues. She was denying me of that right to properly defend myself within the boundaries of the court. I could tell people it's hundreds and thousands, it's probably thousands of motions that you can file. So we want people to know that we will help you with your, if you don't know how to write a motion, we will give you the necessary tools to help you be able to put it together, and we will help you write your motion if necessary. One of our greatest job is to educate the public. I think when education is so and is so empowering, and once you understand the rules, like I tell people, you have to learn the rules of the court, rules of civil procedure, the rules of evidence. You also have to know the rules of criminal procedure, civil procedure, so forth and so on. And I just want to elaborate on those things. A lot of people just don't have the time, and that's where we come in. And we come in straight under common law on the 28 USC 1651. We don't just file habeas, we file mandamus. Mandamus is to make a public official do his job under the law, in which he's supposed to do his job. A lot of people don't understand the court was designed to protect citizens. The judge is supposed to afford you all of your rights. Now, as history has transpired, the judge doesn't, if you don't know your rights, the judge is not going to offer you anything. And sometimes the judge will take judicial notice in the matter if you don't know how to properly state a claim or something. But half the time, 90% of the time, they won't do that. They're going to dismiss your case, say it doesn't have merit, failure to state a claim. A lot of people don't understand really this judicial process, and we're getting slammed. I'm gonna say a lot of our young youth are going to jail over this, just being ignorant. And like Olakwesu spoke on the matter before, we have found where prosecutors, these public defenders, will not attack the court and won't go against the court in any form of fashion, and allowing people to go to jail.
And what Mr. King has stated is very true. What this boils down to is motion pleading, legal rights. This also will raise hope, create a remedy where there's never been a remedy for minorities. Under due process, we will help you understand what the interlocutory appeal is, taken while the proceeding is proceeding. And ultimately, we will help you understand what a direct appeal is, challenging your conviction. Things that we can do before we have to come to the habeas corpus, but we will ultimately have to come to the habeas because it was put in place just for this purpose. So, like we said before, you can contact us at indigenousservices.webs.com. We are open 24 hours to take your call. And then we see where we all go from there.
Just to let y'all know that the paperwork, if y'all need legal assistance, that's the key. The legal assistance. If you need legal assistance, we have the remedies for you, and that you can get the service if you need it. If you don't know how to prepare your paperwork, you can get it done anyway. It's a service that's provided for the common people. So, on that note, I'm gonna say we out and tuta nada.
Peace.
Peace.